Hey, this is Mike with Sculpton's Equipment, and today we're going to talk about two models that confuse a lot of people. It is the B2301 and the BX2380, both 23 horsepower. But what I'm going to do is do a very brief comparison on the two models. Some will perfectly be fine with the BX2380, and some will love the B2301. They're both in the B family, but the BX is the smaller tractor. So I just took two brochures and went down the back off the spec sheet, trying to compare and give some insight to what I think as key differences between the BX and the B series. Both have the same two numbers in their model, the 23 number, designating that they're really close to 23 horsepower max engine output. And according to the brochure, the BX2380 actually comes in at 21.6 engine horsepower, and the B2301 comes in at 22 horsepower. So they're very close. They're 0.4 off of each other engine horsepower wise. The note here, the engine model numbers are different. The BX2380 has a this is the model number, a D902 3-cylinder Kubota diesel, and the B2301 has a D1005 3-cylinder diesel engine. And they have different displacements. Displacement is like when you look at a 350 Chevy, 350 cubic inch, that's the displacement. These also have a cubic inch rating, but they're not 350. The BX2380 is 54.8 cubic inches, and the 2301 is 61.1 cubic inches. So they are different, they have different displacements. So the 2301 is a bigger engine, producing very similar horsepower to the smaller BX engine. The interesting fact here, the BX2380 and has a PTO horsepower. Mind you that the engine has a horsepower rating. It loses horsepower as it gets to the PTO. So the PTO rating on the BX2380 is 17.7 horsepower at the PTO. The 2301, ironically, is less. It's 17.5 PTO horsepower. So the BX2380 has a smaller engine horsepower, but a larger PTO horsepower. I'm talking by decimals though. So they're practically the same, but it's interesting note. The biggest meat and potatoes thing on the comparison between these two models would be the transmission. The BX series, they both have hydrostatic transmissions, but the BX series has a 2-range hydrostatic transmission, and the B series has a 3-range. Well, you might ask, what does that mean? The 3-range has a high, medium, and low gear, and the BX series has a high and a low. So you might say, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, it's nice to have that medium range because it's not a fast gear and it's not a slow gear, but it has a decent amount of power to do a lot of what you're going to do. So the BX just doesn't have the medium range. Ironically, none of the competitors do as well. So if you look at John Deere, to get that medium range transmission on a hydrostat, you would have to go up to, I believe, the M series line, like a 3M. The E series, their 30 horsepower don't even have the middle range. The cool thing with our B series, we have that middle range. So we have a 3-range transmission on the B2301. And definite advantage in my book if I was looking between the two models. The loaders, they both have swift attach loaders. So you can take these loaders both off in 20 seconds, give or take. Very, very quick detaching the loaders. That's where the loader similarity stops. They have completely different loaders. The BX series, of course, doesn't lift as much as the B series loader. The breakout force on the BX series loader is 978 pounds, and on the B2301 loader, it's 2,100 pounds. So it's a big, it's 1,000 pound, over 1,000 pound difference on breakout force. Lift capacity. So this is measured at the pins. The lift capacity. So when you take they'll take like a chain and tie it right to where the bucket attaches. So right at the pins. Your lift capacity on the BX is 739 pounds, and on the B series 2301, you're at 948. So a 200 pound advantage for the B series on the lift capacity there. So, and then they rate the lift capacity not from the pins, they take it 19 inches out from the pin. So pretty much at the tip of the bucket, they hook a chain or a weigh scale measurement. And on the BX series, you're at 509. And this is more realistic. This is like what you're gonna have in the bucket and you're gonna be able to lift is probably right around 509. On the B series, the 2301, you're at 659. So there's still about 160 pounds difference on the actual lift capacity. So the BX series lifts 71 inches high, and the B2301 lifts 79 inches high. So there is, and the B series will lift more and higher than the BX series. Like I said, there's a big difference in these loaders. So that's for the loaders. They both have skid steer style quick couplers. You can they're option on them both, so you can hook up to the same attachments. Let's move on to speed. You might, when you think of tractors, you think slow. Tractors aren't as fast as a car, but the speed between these two models is quite different. The BX2380 will go 8.4 mile an hour top speed. The B2301 will go 11.9. So they both have the same horsepower, different gearing in those transmissions, where the B2301 will go faster. Hydraulics, this kind of ties back into the loader. The BX2380 has a hydraulic capacity, gallons per minute, will pump 6.2 gallons per minute. The B series will pump 8.3 gallons per minute. That's a pretty noticeable difference. They're the same horsepower tractor, and they have different hydraulic specs for sure. 3-point lift capacity, going down the list here, it's very similar to where the loader's at. You know, the BX doesn't lift as much as the B series. The BX 3-point lift capacity, this is at 21 inches back, so where most implements sit. You're at 680 pounds on the BX series, and on the B2301 you're at 1,400 pounds. So there is hydraulic lift capacity wise, the B2301 does almost, you know, like 40% more in most categories than the BX2380. Horsepower wise, they are very similar, but there's a big difference in hydraulics in these two tractors. Not only are the specs different, but if you look at them side by side, as you can come in our showroom and look at them parked next to each other, you can see that they're physically different tractors. But they do spec similar. But so to answer the question that we get very common, are they the same engine? No. Do they have the same horsepower? Pretty much. Can they lift the same? Not at all. They are totally different lift capacity tractors, and they're more like, if you're going to mow your lawn with a tractor, that's the primary use of it, and you want a loader just for occasional use, the BX is a perfect fit. If you're going more for a loader first tractor and maybe mow the lawn tractor, that's where I would stick with the B series. But if you say you have like a pallet of something that comes into your house or your ranch or your farm very often, and it's more than if it's more than 500 pounds, I would definitely lean towards the B2301 because you're going to need that lift capacity. Anyways, I'm not trying to have secret specs here. I got these straight out of the brochure. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. If you want to try these two tractors out side by side, I really recommend doing that. Come into our dealership, we'll let you drive both of them, compare them yourself. Not just specs, you'll just compare how you feel on the tractor. We encourage you to do so. If not, check us out online, give us a like on the page, subscribe to our channel if you don't mind. See you next time. Brochure.